Hi, my name is Jamie Rue and I've been editing my book for a month. So I fell off the face of the earth, admittedly, but I am still editing my book. This is gonna be just me recapping what my month has been like to you. So March was overall something I would call the month of panic because I was freaking out the entire month, not only because of my book, because of like theater and schoolwork and just everything. In terms of writing panic, March was a lot of me refiguring the plot of my novel and trying to convince myself either that it sucked or it didn't suck, and like running the plot past several people who I wasn't sure if they were actually into the plot or if they were just trying to be nice because they're my friends. So I was trying to find people who I knew would be as harsh as possible if there was something wrong with it. They seemed to think it was okay, so I'm gonna move forward with it. I did change a couple things in the plot, but like that's honestly been in the last few days that I've been changing things. My model for editing has changed a little bit. This book is the model that I'm following to edit my book, and it's kind of like hokey. There's literally like pictures and like comic-y type stuff, and like it looks dumb and like it's really not gonna help, but this is the most helpful book on editing I've read. I've read a lot of books about writing. This gives me the best sense of what I should do. This advises that you create a list of all your scenes and like give them funky names so you can remember them. I am keeping a physical notebook, which is new. Originally I read the entire thing and I wrote down all the problems I had with my book. So then I went through and I made a list of all the scenes in my book. Anything up to like here, like at the bottom of this page, were scenes that I remembered off the top of my head, and then I went through my manuscript again and wrote down the scenes that I'd forgotten. Then orange scenes are the ones I need to add. The ones in green are scenes that are pretty much good to go with a little bit of editing. The ones in red are ones that need a lot of work. And the ones that aren't highlighted are kind of neutral. The ones in blue are the ones that I forgot. Blue has some overlap because I didn't want to make it like just blue. After that, this book recommends that you cut up your novel. So this book is now in this box. These are some index cards that I'm writing down all the scenes on. So far I have this many. This is about what 50,000 pages looks like cut up. So I did that and then I laid them all out and reorganized them. Those are loosely in the order that I want them to be in now. It's changed a little bit since I actually started revising the actual text of the novel. I'm gonna need to cut those index cards to be much smaller because I have this, but it's still probably not going to fit on there. Like, I need to measure it out and see. And that's partly why I'm using Scrivener, because it shows me all the index cards that I need, and like I can make notes on them if I want to, or I can just open them. This right now, at this stage, after I cut up everything and rearranged everything, is where I started freaking out about the plot and about the research I'd done, or like the lack of research I'd done, and I just like started freaking out about everything. So I have spent the last week researching so many demons, and like I'm so scared because I'm not superstitious or religious or anything, but low-key I was raised Christian, and so that's been unnecessarily nerve-wracking for me to do. I am reading Dante's Inferno right now. There's this research paper I need to write, and I'm just doing a literary analysis on Dante's Inferno. Wow! There are so many similarities that I didn't notice, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Just in terms of not stereotypes or tropes, not overly stereotypical necessarily, but just like things that I'm either doing too different from common mindset about things, or things I'm doing like too similarly, so that's been interesting. What I've been doing to edit lately is I have been carefully, very, very carefully going through every single line in my novel while I'm fixing what's happening and what's being said. I'm also trying to make it as perfect as possible in terms of prose. I'm gonna have to go back and do like a official line read everything. I'm trying to make it as nice as possible now so I can have to do less work later. I am technically doing Camp NaNoWriMo. I'm technically revising my novel, so it's about 80,000 words. I'm actually aiming for 100,000, but like that's kind of a stretch. I have approximately a week to really get this in shape. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't know if I can write that much in a week because I set an arbitrary deadline for myself. Editing is a lot harder than people seem to make it sound. If you're trying to edit your book, I actually highly recommend getting this book. It's by Stuart Horwitz. I'm having fun with this. I'm really not having fun, but like I'm telling myself I'm having fun. I need to pick up the pace is mostly where I'm at. It's just, if I'm changing things, there are so many things that I could change about it, and so many things that would be great to do but I can't, or things that are too cliche and I can't, or things that just like don't really make sense that I want to do, or things that I just want to like scrap all together and rewrite, or things that I just don't know what to do with. And I think that's the hardest part of this so far. I can like sit there and read through my work and know what's wrong with it. The hard part isn't necessarily knowing what to change and what not to change, it's how you change it. Because if you're changing things, there's a world of opportunity. There, you could do anything with your book. And it's like that when you're writing too, but there's something that's so much more carefully measured about editing. Like something just feels different. That's been the hardest thing. Nonetheless, I need to try to figure it out within the next week. I hope I can do it. Alright, I am going to go try to edit some of my novel. Bye.